Okay, we're out in the garage now and I've got my little bucket of compost scraps that I'm going to show you what I do with this. Anyway, over here I have my Bokashi, you see that, a Bokashi system, which is a Japanese system of composting that is really simple, low cost and highly effective. It means you can have a compost bin even in your kitchen and there's no smell to it, and there's it speeds up the whole composting process. It also produces a liquid fertilizer as well that you can use to put on your plants. So to use the Bokashi system, you can go to your local store that sells hardware and plants and things, and usually you'll find it there. Otherwise, go online and see where you can get this in your local area. And this is the mix. It's like sawdust, and it's got some special Bokashi bacteria in it that speeds up the composting process. Okay, and these buckets you can actually make your own if need be. It's basically I come back a bit, you can see it's a bucket inside of a bucket, so you can get two buckets, one that fitted inside the other, and you just need a lid on the top one, and you can drill some holes in the bottom of the bucket and slide it inside the other bucket, put the lid on, and you're all ready to put your compost inside with a little bit of that sawdust. So you can see here I've already started putting some scraps in here and some sawdust on there. And so what we need to do now is we put our next lot of scraps in, and really important, you need a potato masher, and the potato masher is to squeeze out all the air. You don't want any air among your food scraps, and this is just a cheap plastic one, but you're probably better if you can get hold of a metal one, because you want to put as much force on it as you can to squeeze out that air. So you mash this down, squeezing out the air, pushing it down as much as possible. Okay, so you can see there it's all pretty much mashed down, and then I grab my Bokashi mix and I just going to sprinkle a small amount, pretty much just cover the surface of the scraps, and now the little bacteria that are inside that mix will go to work and break down those food scraps. Okay, when one bucket's filled up, you take it out, and you see here, this is the previous bucket. It gets taken out, and you need to put it on top of something, a little bucket to catch the drips, because it will continue to produce this liquid fertilizer that will come out the bottom of the bucket. So so we just sit that on there, and again leave it for a few weeks, and you can see in the bottom there's that liquid fertilizer dripping out into the bottom of the bucket. So in this one, you'll see that there's a whole lot of scraps there that have been sitting in there for about 3 or 4 weeks. You know, ideally you want to leave it in here probably for about 6 weeks, and then it can be dug straight into the garden or you can put it in your compost bin outside. So yeah, here's my little garden outside here. It's a raised garden, and you can see that the plants are doing really well because they love the nice compost that I've dug into the soil, and I've got a real healthy lot of plants. I've put this mesh over the top because the compost is so rich and full of worms that it attracts the birds, and so this mesh keeps the birds away, and I found that it also keeps the white butterflies away as well. Over here you can see this lemon tree, which I just planted probably just over a year and a half ago, and it's absolutely laden with lemons, and I keep pouring the liquid fertilizer from the Bokashi around the base of this lemon tree, and it seems to just love it. So and here's the big rhubarb plant too, which is doing very well with the good compost that's been put in. Okay, and here are my revolving compost bins. I just find that the revolving ones work better because you can keep turning them around and mixing up all the bit of weight in this one. Okay, but you can keep turning it around and mixing all your plant material, and all the things you add to it get mixed in, and it speeds up the process. So we'll just open the lid of this and have a look in there. And you can see there's a lot of worms down there eating. I don't know where those worms came from. I didn't put them in there, but anyway, they found their way in there, and they are helping in the composting process. And this is beautiful, rich compost that's absolute gold for the garden and produces amazing vegetables. So now we're going to take this bucket of Bokashi and we're going to pour it in there. And this will again just help the whole composting process. If I add other material from the garden and lawn clippings and things, it's all going to break down a lot quicker and a lot more effectively with this Bokashi mix thrown into the compost. But like I say, you can just dig it straight into your garden. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in to Tips from Dad, and we will look forward to the next episode.